Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the problem with the Red Pill movement. So for this video, I will discuss the problem with that movement when it comes to the ideology that it's putting out there and simply put it, why it is simply wrong and incorrect, okay? When it comes to how it portrays women as being evil and this and that, I'm just gonna simply debunk the claims of the Red Pill movement, okay? Which I don't think I have to do anything more to explain it because I think everyone who's on this video knows exactly what the Red Pill movement. So now I mention that, let's get started. So when it comes to the Red Pill movement, what is the problem with the Red Pill movement? Well, the problem with the Red Pill movement is that it blames women for all the relationship issues that are going on nowadays instead of looking at the real culprit, which is actually cultural expectations as well as bad relationship advice, okay? Because the truth of the matter when it comes to the Red Pill movement, which I don't think I have to explain, but I'll just explain for the sake of explaining, is that it teaches us that women in general screwed up relationships. Okay, most women, particularly modern women, as they say, are 304s, which means they're sluts. They sleep with a bunch of people, as well as feminism is responsible because feminism encouraged women to think that it's okay for them to sleep with men just like how men sleep with women and all that type of stuff. Those are the things that they teach them, the people who follow the movement to think. Okay? But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to that particular topic, in all honesty, to be quite honest with you, I just genuinely do not agree with that sentiment, okay? Because most of the issues people are having in relationships can simply be come down to, as I was getting at before, cultural expectations as well as bad relationship advice, okay? Which I'll give an easy example to simply put, you know, out there to get my point across, okay? An example of bad relationship advice is this whole idea of just be nice. Because every single person time I listened to a little couple videos about relationships. It was always the same thing. Just be nice. Just be nice if you want. Yeah, woman, be nice. Be nice. Be nice. But at the end of the day, that's bad advice because at the end of the day, the problem with that way of thinking is that it just makes it more likely that the relationship's going to be boring. Because if you're just nice all the time and doing everything that she tells you to do and you're just always super duper friendly and all that stuff, then at some point it's going to get kind of boring. And just like that, for example, let's give an easy example. It's like people who, who are overly friendly in general. Like if you have a friend who's overly friendly and it's like by day one, you know everything that there is to know about him, then it gets kind of boring in all honesty. Okay. And you kind of just go like, there's not really anything new to learn. And when I learn about this person, and it's not that they're a bad person, it's just that it's kind of, well, boring. And that's exactly the same exact thing when it comes to relationship advice, okay? Well, that's the truth. You're supposed to actually have game. And to have game, you have to make yourself interesting. Do not put out too much and do this and that or else people are going to get kind of bored of you, okay? And that's one example of bad relationship advice, okay? I'm just saying it how it is, okay? A lot of people might not agree with my sentiment, but I'm just speaking the honest truth here. That's what a lot of women complain about. Oh, it's so nice that there's not really anything new to know about you and stuff, and it just gets kind of boring. So that's one example of what I'm trying to say. And that's relationship advice. They always say, just be nice, just be nice, just be nice, be super nice, which doesn't really work, okay? The other point to get across when it comes to bad dating advice or bad cultural norms, cultural expectations, of course, is simply an example I can easily think of is this whole notion that you should always for example, do everything for your woman, put up with her, whether she's taking long shopping sprees, or every single time you're going to a place, you have to do this particular thing for her and do that for her and all that type of stuff. And to be realistic here, it's human nature that's going to at some point spoil someone. And that's the truth of the matter about relationships, okay? It's down to common sense in or well, not even the relationships, it's just human nature. If you keep on treating someone in exactly this particular way, it's going to spoil them, in all honesty, and just make them feel that they can do whatever the fuck they want to do without there obviously being repercussions. Because that's the thing about our society, is that especially when it comes to relationships, we're expected to deal with all this type of shit from women, okay? When they're having a bad day, we're just supposed to take it when they just simply shout at us, get angry at us, and scream at us for God knows whatever reason when we didn't even fucking do anything. Okay, that's wrong. And that's another example of what I'm trying to get at here. When in another world, another life, you would have probably looked at it in a better world, because this world we live in sucks. I'm not even gonna hide my words. It sucks, to be honest with you. But yeah, like in a better world, like a better world for that matter, a better scenario, you know, um, you can say, if anything, for example, when it comes to the idea of a better world, um, you know, you would know by day one that's not someone you should be dating. And that's kind of the problem with it, is that this whole idea of just putting up with this type of stuff instead of realizing, okay, maybe it's not a case of her being a woman, maybe it's a case of her just generally being a bitch, you know, and just a general negative person, maybe I should not be dating. But for relationship and dating advice, they teach us to just put up with it and just deal with it and just don't let it get to you. Just put up with it as a man. Okay. And another thing that also, of course, is responsible for this is that men, when we do relationships, on a cultural level, we do not actually focus on the personality of the person. We always just simply focus on, oh, does the person look good? Does the person look good? Oh, she's hot, she's hot, she's hot. But you don't really know her as a person, in all honesty. I'm not saying that you can't like focus on visual attractiveness, because obviously that's common sense. You want to focus on what makes someone look attractive, but you also at the same time want to use common sense and also focus on what actually, of course, no surprise, the person is as a person. And that's the thing about our culture. We don't focus on that. We're not taught to focus on that. We're just taught, oh, she's hot, let's go bang her, and this and that. And that's the truth of why a lot of guys get in some crappy ass relationships with women who might be super beautiful, but they're actually just genuinely the worst people ever. There's beautiful women out there who, I guess, if you try enough, can open up and have a personality. But we're not taught to think that in our society. We're just taught to think, just focus on she's hot and this and that. And you see this propaganda all the time in movies, TV shows, and all this type of stuff, instead of focusing on, actually, is she beautiful and has a good personality. So that's the reason why men are having so many issues with women nowadays. Those are the main reasons why, for that matter, okay? Those are the main reasons why. So the truth of the matter is, that is why we're having issues. Just use red pill as something to say is simply taking an easy way out. Okay, the truth of the matter is, those are the things that's causing it. So now, of course, that I mentioned that, obviously the question would be, what is the solution? Well, the solution to that issue is simple. We simply have to change cultural norms. We need to make it clear as day to a woman in relationships, that it's not okay for women to act up, when they're having a bad day, they could just simply tell you. Or secondly, another thing to go along with that, we can also make it clear as day as well to people, you know, like, it is not okay, or I should say, when you date someone, you should not try to be super nice to them. Just be yourself, like, just be indifferent. Sometimes you might come off as cold and mean, but that's the way it is. Maybe you should just do that, if anything. So don't come off as too nice or anything, for that matter. And also, when you're actually dating people, don't just focus on looks, focus on who they actually are as a person as well. And so, if people could just simply follow those rules and stuff, and there's many more as well, but these are just three good examples of what I mean, then we wouldn't have these issues. And I can guarantee you a lot of the bad women would be weeded out, and men and women would start getting along and get in relationships. And that's the truth of the matter. So, anyway, that is all I have to say. And simply put it, I hope you enjoyed this video. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put, I'm out. So, bye.